Greetings and welcome to Promecons today. Today we have again another question and answer session. But if you are new in the channel, please just help click the subscription button and don't forget to click the notification bell because this is the channel that will help you just preparing for your GCE examination, as I'm uploading videos in this channel every day. So guys, we're going to be working on the J curve effect. We're going to be working on the J curve effect. Yeah, I know that many of you have been hearing about this name, the J curve, but you care less about it. You don't even try to understand what it means. So let's get it today. But in order for us to understand it clearly, I want to use a past GCE question to explain the concept in a better way. And to do that, we will use June 2016 question 4 paper 3. June 2016 question 4 paper 3. I believe that with the use of this question you will understand the concept best. Now the question says, one of the long run measures to correct a balance of payment deficit leads to the J curve effect as shown on figure 1 below. But guys, I want you guys to understand the J curve, because the curve that the curve that I'm going to be presenting now actually is the J curve. Yes, and the graph represents the J curve, and that is what, if they ask you in the exams to draw, you will be drawing. So pay attention. So to do that, let's start by presenting our vertical line, which represent what? The y-axis. Let's present our x-axis, horizontal line. From there, you present your J curve. This is how the J curve looks like. This is how the J curve looks like. The vertical axis takes the current account balance. The horizontal axis takes the time. Then we have you have to label your curve, which is a J curve. Please, in every graph that you draw, the most important thing is to label this part. If you don't label this, the vertical axis, the horizontal axis, and the curve itself, means that your graph is vague. So the next thing we have, the portion of the vertical axis above the 0 is always the favorable part of a balance of payment. It is the favorable part of the balance of payment, while the portion below is the unfavorable part. But now the J curve tells us that when this long run measure is being taken into consideration, or when it is being used to correct the balance of payment deficit, the balance of payment will instead start by falling. The balance of payment will start by falling before it increases. Now that's why this point A shows the initial point of the balance of payment before the measure is being implemented. It is the initial. Why is it at the unfavorable side? It is at the unfavorable side. Why? Because we are trying to improve the balance of payment because it is unfavorable. So it is because it is unfavorable at the initial point that we are trying to improve. Upon trying to improve, it will start by falling to B. When it falls to B, from there it will increase. It will start rising back. That is move from A, fall to B. From B, it start increasing to C. So that is just. Then let's get to question. They say identify the long run measure which measures the effect illustrated above and define it. Enumerate 4 other long-run measures that can be used to solve the balance of payment. State 2 ways how the balance of payment deteriorates from A to B and improve from B to C. The last one says list 2 importance of the balance. Let's get to the answer, guys. Answer guide. The long-run measure which causes the effect illustrated above is known as devaluation of currency. Devaluation of currency. That is a long-run measure, and it is a deliberate reduction in the value of a country's currency in a fixed exchange rate regime by the government. Please, devaluation is carried out by the government in the fixed exchange rate regime. Why in the fixed exchange rate regime? The fixed exchange rate regime is that regime where the value of the currency is determined by the state or by the government. So devaluation can only take place in the fixed exchange rate regime. So that is a long-run measure that causes the J-curve effect. That causes the balance of payment to start by rising before it increases. We'll be seeing that subsequently in the other part of the questions. Now this B says other long-run measures that used to solve a BOP deficit include other measures. We talk about what? Subsidization of home industries. The aim of devaluation, when we talk about solving a BOP deficit, means that we want to increase export and reduce import. So in other words, or in order to understand this, you have to understand that in trying to protect, you can use trade protection method here. Yes, you can use trade protection methods here, but it is just having that at the back of your mind. But don't mention on your question paper that, so don't even say something relating to trade protection, but know that if you use trade protection measures here and explain well, it goes. Subsidization of home industry. When they subsidize home industries, they become more competitive than foreign industries, which scare foreign industry from importing. And when foreign industries stop importing, what happens? Export will obviously be more than import. It cures the balance of payment deficit. Export promotion. They can decide to promote export by even eliminating taxes on export and the West. Intensifying trade restriction measures, like I was saying, right? But yeah, like I was saying, we have contractionary and deflationary fiscal policies. So these are the other measures that can be used, or other long-run measures. Please be very specific, because they are short-term measures and they are long-run measures. So ways through which the balance of payment falls from A to B. Now, why the question here is, why will the balance of payment instead start by falling from A to B? Or how does the balance of payment instead fall from what? A to B after devaluation of currency, as we illustrated above. So please, for you to better understand this question, as I presented the graph above, make sure you draw in a piece of paper before you start following the other part, or you start following the answers. Export price falls with the same quantity being sold in the short run. Please, devaluation causes export to be cheaper and import to be expensive. What do I mean? It causes prices of export to be cheaper. That is, if a good was being sold for 500 francs and they devalue the currency, that product, the price of that product falls. Or it makes the value of that 500 francs to be lower in foreign currency. That's what I mean. It causes export to be cheaper. Why do they make export to be cheaper? In order to attract foreign buyers, in order to attract demand from foreign currency, from foreign countries. So when they devalue the currency, it causes export to be cheaper that will attract demand, and import to be expensive, which will cause demand for foreign goods to fall, because the prices of foreign goods will instead increase in the home industry, in the home market. So that's why we're saying that export prices, after devaluation of currency, export prices will be falling with the same quantity being sold in the short run. You have to put at the back of your mind that even after devaluation, the quantity demanded for of foreign goods cannot change automatically. In the short run, it will remain the same, but yet the prices of export of exported goods and services has fallen. So instead worsen the balance of payment situation. Another point, that import prices are increasing with the same quantity being bought. Now that the price of import have increased and we are still buying the same quantity, it wasn't the balance of payment situation. Remember, the balance of payment is looking at what? The currency, the amount of currency that comes in and the amount of currency that goes out. If the amount of currency that comes in is more than that which goes out, it is favorable. If the amount of currency that goes out is more than that which comes in, it is unfavorable. But this case is telling us that after devaluation of currency, in the short run, immediately, the amount of currency that is going out will be more than that which is coming in. Why? Because the import prices are increasing, would not change in what? Quantity that's being bought. Then the Roman 2 says causes and causing of improvement from point B to C. So we want to talk about the factors that can cause that improvement. Now we've seen that after devaluation, if the balance of payment start by falling. Yes, we've seen the reason why it falls. Why should it increase, or how come it increased back? What causes it to increase? We are saying that an increase in export due to a fall in prices enable export earnings to be more than import expenditures. Yes, you know that when price fall, right, quantity demanded increase. Now that the export prices has fallen, there will be an increase in the quantity demanded of export. So that in particular will cause the earnings from export to be greater than the expenditures on import. And you know that when earnings from export is more than the expenditure from on import, it is favorable BOP. The case is favorable. So we also talk about a more than proportionate fall in the import due to what? Higher price reduction. A more than proportionate fall in import due to their higher prices reduces payments made for import. Now that after devaluation of currency, import has become expensive. Yes, the price of imported goods has increased. And you know that when prices increase, demand falls. So the price of imported goods has increased, so the demand by home citizens on foreign goods is going to increase, is going to fall, please. And when it falls, you see that there's a higher proportion. The proportionate fall in demand is greater than the proportionate increase in price. Causing what? Causing a favorable balance of payment, causing the BOP to be increasing. Yeah, that is what explains the movement from B to C. So let's look at the importance, the last part of the question, the importance of BOP. What are the importance of a balance of payment? Remember, a balance of payment is a financial statement. It is a statement that shows all the economic transactions between a country and the rest of the world. All the economy, when we talk about economic transactions, any transaction that deals with goods, that deals with money, every economic transactions is being shown in the balance of payment, the BOP. then how important is the balance of payment to the society? We said it indicates the living standard of a country. Yes, if the balance of payment situation is improving, there's a high probability that the standard of living of that country is also improving. It guides the government in the allocation of resources. Yes, it is due to the balance of payment that the government knows those sectors. In trying to prepare the balance of payment, the government knows those sectors that are still, maybe they are short of resources. So at the end of the day, the government knows where to allocate economic resources. It guides the government to be able to allocate economic resources efficiently. We also talk about it indicates the economic strength of a country. It indicates what the country can do and what the country cannot do. For example, there are some foreign contributions that countries do that, in order to determine the amount of money that they contribute in those organizations, they have to check certain things like what? The balance of payment situation, the economic growth, and the rest. They have to check all those things before they determine even the national income. They have to check all those things before they determine what they will be contributing. So it determines the strength of the country. It guides the government to take effective and corrective measures. Yes, in trying to, the measures we're talking about here is to know how to correct the balance of payment. Now, it is due to a balance of payment that the government knows whether to borrow money from other countries. The government knows whether to withdraw foreign investment. The government knows whether to invest abroad. The government knows whether to increase the supply of money. Getting the point. So it helps the government to take effective and corrective measures in the country. So guys, here comes the end of the session, and please, thanks for watching this video today, and thanks for coming to my channel today. Do not forget to subscribe, please. The most important to me and to you. Why? Because if you do not subscribe, there are times I will drop videos and you are not aware. So please just click the subscription button and make sure you press the notification bell, like, comment, share with your friends so they can enjoy the lectures. Also, thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.